Today I would like to start my video review by thanking four very special viewers of my videos and backers of my Kickstarter campaign from last summer. These viewers are Sergio Schiavi, Marco West, Petro Ferrer, and Jean Valentine, and I hope that I pronounced their names correctly. If you're watching this, well, thank you for supporting my Kickstarter campaign. What they did was to purchase a share of a video review, was to contribute to partial expenses for the making of a video review. That video review is this one. Thank you guys, thank you for your support. And now, without further ado, we can take a look at Numenera. I've been a big fan of Thunderstone and later Thunderstone Advance for a good number of years now, and every time that there's a new Thunderstone release, I'm pretty excited, and I definitely was excited when I saw that Thunderstone Advance was releasing a new title, Numenera. I remember seeing the game showcased at Gen Con last year. I don't remember if they were actually releasing it or just showing it off, but now I have a copy, and now I played Numenera, which is a standalone expansion for Thunderstone Advance. You can play this game if you have never played Thunderstone before. The box contains all that you need to play and have a lot of fun with Thunderstone Advance. And also, if you're a fan of the RPG, then probably you will be pleased to be able to play a game with a similar theme. I know that there's an RPG game that this card game comes from. I personally never played it. I don't know a thing about it. I guess I figured out a thing or two just from looking at the cards, the art, and the theme, and it seems like a fantasy universe with sci-fi tones and themes and a little bit of Lovecraftian monstrosities, but those these days are ubiquitous. It doesn't really tell us much anymore. In any case, let me show you a little bit about Thunderstone Advance Numenera. I'm not going to go over the basics of Thunderstone again. I did so in some previous videos of mine. I recommend you watch that if you are new to the Thunderstone idea, and even more so if you're new to Thunderstone Advance. I'm just going to tell you about the stuff that you find in this set and the new rules and new mechanics. So I would say that this video is mainly aimed at people that already know Thunderstone. So what are the new things that the Thunderstone Advanced Numenera adds to the Thunderstone world? Well, I'll start from what is by far my favorite new thing, this baggie here. Totally awesome. Just get the darn set just so you can get the bag with this thing on it, with the Thunderstone. That's it. I'm just kidding. This is cute, but what is inside here is my favorite new thing. When I first saw it, when I opened the box, I thought, yummy, I wanna try the lemon one, or maybe the strawberry one. They look like candies to me. These are tokens that are used as experience points, and well, they just work exactly like experience points in previous sets. However, they're not colored just because they look cuter that way. There's a meaning to it. When you earn an experience point, when you gain experience points, you draw the corresponding chits randomly from this baggie here, and you can use the chit as an experience point in the case you ignore the color, or different chits, which are called ciphers, can be used for one-time effects related to the colors, linked to the colors. That is, you can spend your experience points for something different from leveling up your heroes. You can use them to generate other effects. For example, the blue cipher allows you to draw a card. The gray cipher allows you to destroy a card. Very good. Finally, an easy, quick way of thinning your deck without having to waste a lot of turns doing so and using specific actions to do so. Green adds a magic attack of +1. Red, a physical attack of +1. Yellow, pretty intuitive, adds light, and orange. Orange is not easy to tell from red from this distance, but this is orange. Orange makes you gain 2 coins. Then we have settings. They're not all that dissimilar from settings that we had in previous editions of Thunderstones, where there would be a card that modifies the general situation of the dungeon. Here what we have are settings that generate random effects based on the roll of a 1d20, which is included with the set. With some cards, with some settings, actually not much happens. The vast majority of the die rolls will not have any effect. Other settings are much more active in making things complicated for you. For example, here you roll a d20 each time that the first player's turn begins, and from 1 to 16 the players will gain diseases, so there's going to be a constant number of diseases attacking the players, well, attaching themselves to the players. It's not something that you have to use if you don't like it. I don't think they add all that much. I just like the game as is, so I really haven't explored all the possibilities that the scenarios do. Now, for the heroes, there are new mechanics connected to the heroes. Maybe you should call them new abilities. One ability is the react, or I should say a trait that heroes may have among their abilities is react. When a hero has a react ability, that ability can be used at any time during the game when the trigger situation is present. It doesn't even have to be during your turn, but you still have to show the card to the opponent if it's not your turn, just to show that you're not lying and you do have a react ability that applies to the situation. Another new things that some heroes can do is to mark enemies. For example, the Swift has a react ability that allows him, after another player selects a monster, with your mark to fight. So let's start from here. The Swift has an ability that applies in the aftermath of a battle. The Swift can mark one non-guardian monster in the hall. And the character comes with a set of markers that allow you to mark a monster when the situation applies. Once you've marked a monster, react situation, if another player selects a monster with your mark to fight, add health +1 to that monster. I guess this represents you are trying to interfere with the heroes attacking the monster, so it's harder for them. We are protecting the monster somehow. In any case, here monsters may be harder to take down if your opponents are marking them. And then we have the Ragd that also comes with a set of markers that are used to mark monsters. React, after another player selects a monster with your mark to fight, gain 1 XP. When you are at the village, or as an aftermath, you mark a monster in the hall. So this is really something quite interesting, because it does allow you to set up effects that will generate advantages for you, well, later in the game, not necessarily the moment that you use that advantage. As for other heroes, other things, well, those 2 marksmen, the characters with the mark ability, are the Swift and the Ragd, and they're rangers. We have 2 wizards, the Clever and the Learned. We have clerics, 3 clerics, the Charming, the Intelligent, and the Lesser Ion Priest. They do interesting stuff. Nothing that really blows my mind as in terms of being incredibly different from stuff that we had in previous sets, but the heroes that we have here are a balanced mix. I don't care that they are not all that different, or they don't feel incredibly different from heroes from previous sets. They do feel quite well balanced. They have that nice sense that there are the very strong ones, the ones that are strong from the beginning, that are very expensive, difficult to get. There are ones that are easier to get at the beginning, but they level up nicely. Actually, something that I really like is the Stealthy, that has the ability to allow you to buy an additional card when you're at the village. That's a huge ability. It's a huge advantage, especially later in the game when you have a lot of money and just buying a single card doesn't seem to be the best thing, the best use of your time. Then we have 4 warriors, so this is the most, 4 fighters, this is the most represented class in Numenera. We have physical attack +1, but with the ability of drawing cards. Physical attack +3 at level 1. This guy is tough, but you cannot level up a regular into this card. You have to buy it, and it is quite expensive, so that makes sense. Physical attack +1 for the graceful, but he's good against monsters that have fighting effects, that have battle effects, and there's a lot of them, so he's good in a lot of situations. The Mystic has a little bit of physical abilities and magic abilities. Again, very nice mix of heroes. Some of them quite interesting by themselves, but what I like more than everything is the way they work together as a pretty balanced team. Monsters, we got some fun stuff here. We have the Subhumans. I'm just going to show you the art a little bit to give you a sense. As for what they do, well, I guess that you can just stop and pause this video and read all of the instructions, all of the descriptions one by one. But in general, the level 1 monsters, I found them quote-unquote hard to define because they tend to have very different effects. That is, every monster in the category seems to be doing a different thing. Many monsters have sort of family resemblance within their category, but as you can see, some here have immunity, some make you suffer light penalties, some give you diseases, some make you discard a hero, and the same applies. So those are the monster of level 1, and the Verminous. Look at this, destroy one item, well, here nothing but just a trophy, that's good. Destroy a weapon during the battle, you get light, destroy a hero, stuff like that. But as you can see, there are just many different things that these level 1 monsters can do. And that I would say they're thematically a little blurred. Probably if you know the original RPG, then you see more theme in there than I do. But then we have other stuff that is interesting. We have the Bandits. The Bandits, what they do is they interact with dungeon abilities. They, for example, force you to use abilities. There you go, you must use all dungeon abilities if possible. Here you go, that happens again and again. Destroy one spell with an ability that you have used. Destroy all items, weapons, and spells with abilities you have used. This is pretty brutal. We have the Automatons. Resolve the Scar battles effect twice if a Doom Laden is present. Now, some monsters are labeled as Doom Laden. It just so happens that all monsters in this category are Doom Laden, but there are categories in which not all monsters are Doom Laden. Being Doom Laden means, I have no idea what that means. I don't have the foggiest idea. I'm gonna leave it to the RPG connoisseurs to figure it out. What I know though is that in this game, creatures that have the Doom Laden trait interact with one another. For example, there is a monster that says that if you have a Doom Laden ability, a Doom Laden card, if a Doom Laden card is present in your hand, then you must select this one to fight. Sometimes you want to fight something else. If you have a Doom Laden in your hand because you destroyed a monster with that label earlier, then too bad. That's the kind of thing that they can do. The abilities interact with one another. When we have the Ultra-Terrestrial, I guess this is the most sci-fi-ish aspect of the entire thing. Let's look at this one. You cannot defeat this card unless you have exactly 8 total attack value. Oh, this is the perfect monster for the OCD in all of us. You cannot defeat this card with 10 or higher total value attack. So actually you have kind of like a bit of a range. As you can see, this is something that these ultra-terrestrials have in common. You have to be a little bit of a mathematician. You have to tailor your attack to the monster. Overdoing it, being overkill for once is not the best thing in the world. The monstrosities, they make you discard stuff or destroy stuff, or they destroy stuff, as you can see. In any case, they deplete your resources as the battle goes, or right after the battle as an aftermath. The ancient ones, need to be destroyed with light. Light is the thing that does it. As you can see, for example, here you cannot select the monster to fight if there is darkness in its rank, and it gives you a penalty. Some of these, where you go, there you go, reduce the total attack value to 0, that's not good, but then you reduce this card's health by 2 for each point of light present. So, the required light is necessary to use light, and in some cases actually the light gives them damage. For example, if you have 5 or more light present, defeat this card, which is sweet. And then we have the horrors, which just are immune to a lot of things. For example, immune to magic attack or physical, whichever is lower, immune to magic, immune to physical, or magic and physical attack required. They have the type of restriction which just drives me crazy during gameplay, because you have the right amount of attack, we don't have the right type of attack. It drives me insane when that happens, and that happens fairly often when these guys are in play. I don't think I'll go through all of the village cards because it would take us way too long. This video would be incredibly, incredibly long. There's some fun stuff, a nice selection of weapons, villagers, light items, money items, spells, items that work very well with certain categories, so sometimes certain categories of heroes, so sometimes you will try to create combos if that is possible, and maybe if you are creating a themed setup. A peculiar item, this one I guess I can mention just because it's really strange. It's a light item and a money item, but if 3 or more copies of this card are present, you destroy all copies of this card and 1 random card. And you end your turn, they just blow up in your face, I assume. Also, when you go to the dungeon, you add a magic attack +3 to 1 hero, which is super nice, and you place a copy of this card from the village into your discard pile. All nice, but as you can see, if you use that ability, then these guys can tend to, well, to clutter your hand a little bit. There can be a lot of them, but a magic attack +3, even if it's cumulative, is pretty neat. Again, they may not last long because they explode, but there are a lot of these. This seems to me the village card, of which there are most copies in here. Weapons, oh, I like this one, the Dart Thrower. I like it because it has some light, it has a physical attack of +4 against rank 2 or higher. Rangers may equip this weapon, and then the weapon attack can apply to rank 1. I like it, it's pretty neat. Okay, what else? Oh well, this set also comes with a nice mounted board, just like the Tower of Ruin set for Dungeon Advance, which helps you organizing the cards. That's pretty much all this set does, all this board does. Well, also actually also gives you reminders of the light penalties, for example. It is just nice to have. It makes the game look pretty nice. And there are 2 different types of dungeons depending on the side of the board that you want to use. A 4 rank dungeon with a light, with a point of penalty for each darkness point in a rank, and a 3 rank dungeon with 2 points of penalty for each point of darkness that is not paid for by using light. In sum and in conclusion, Numenera is good. It's better than good, actually. Numenera is really a very, very good new chapter in the Thunderstone saga. I've been liking Thunderstone for a while. I was overjoyed when Thunderstone turned into Advance because I think it is even better, much better than used before. And I just see how the designers keep improving things, adding new ideas. The Ciphers to me are almost a game changer. I cannot imagine playing the game without the Ciphers now. Definitely I would apply the Ciphers option to any version of Thunderstone that I play because I love them. That flexibility, the extra tactical options that come from being able to use XP tokens for different purposes, that is huge. I just love it. I love Numenera, I love the new mechanics, the ciphers in particular, but the reactabilities and the marking system also, that is definitely fun. It increases the sense of interaction among players. Fun game. The theme is neat, whatever it is, because I don't have much of an idea of what this theme is about. But they're monsters, they're heroes, there is sci-fi stuff. I like it. The art is glorious. The fights are epic. The storytelling component is there. It is done through cards. It's a little abstract, but I can even see stories emerging from the deck building engine when the deck building engine is well implemented, which is exactly what happens here. If you never played Thunderstone, this definitely would be a good place to start. I would say start from here, see if you like it, which you will, and then move on to Tower Ruins and the other sets. If you already play Thunderstone and you think, I already have so much stuff, do I need another Thunderstone expansion? Yes, you do. You totally do. You have no idea how much you do.